To me, Global Reach Out is inspiring.
It's connecting with God, reaching out to the world, and impacting life.
The stories that are shared is so personal and it deeply impacted me.
Global Reach Out to me is reach out to the truth.
Connecting hearts, connecting lives. You're listening to Global Reach Out.
Episode 7. Friends, are you in a situation yet that you do not see any light at the end of the tunnel? Are you going through a tough time? Are you experiencing Red Sea syndrome where you are in a right tight spot? And whether it's in relationship, family situation, career, don't give up. Be a Himpossible thinker like the Virgin Mary. Mount Everest, the world's highest peak, is considered the most awesome, fearsome, most difficult mountain to conquer. A man by the name of Mallory led an expedition to conquer it in 1920. His first and second expeditions failed. He made a third attempt with a team of qualified, well-trained and talented people. Unfortunately, an avalanche hit the team. Mallory and a few of them were killed. Those who survived returned to England. A banquet was organized to salute the courage of Mallory and his teammates who died trying climbing Mount Everest. One of the men who had survived the expedition stood up to acknowledge the applause. He looked around the hall at the picture of Mallory and those who had died. Then he turned his back to those who had gathered to face the huge picture of Mount Everest, which stood looming like a silent, unconquerable giant picture. With tears streaming down his eyes, he addressed Mount Everest on behalf of Mallory and those who had perished. I speak to you, Mount Everest, in the name of all the brave men living and those yet unborn. Mount Everest, you defeated us once. You defeated us twice. You defeated us thrice. But Mount Everest, we shall one day defeat you because you can't grow bigger, but we can. Guess what? True enough, in 1953, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norway officially became the first two men to conquer Mount Everest. Since then, many have done so. Are you facing the Mount Everest of disappointment, discouragement, disillusionment, defeat? Do you know you can conquer it? Speak to it. Mount Everest of disappointment, defeat, discouragement. You defeated me once, you defeated me twice, you defeated me thrice. But Mount Everest, I shall defeat you one day because you can't grow any bigger. But I can. This year might have been a bad year for you. Be a Himpossible thinker and let next year be a good year. If this year has been a good year, next year can be a better year. This day, choose to be a Himpossible thinker and see the deliverance of God from your difficult or impossible situation, because with God, nothing is impossible. Francis of Assisi once said, start by doing what's necessary, then do what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Somebody said, winners and losers, leaders and followers, all of us have two voices inside our head. One says, I can. The other says, I can't. The difference lies in which of those two voices is winning. Which of those two voices are you listening? So whether I can't win or I can win depends on which thought you are feeding on your mind. The thought you feed grows. Your belief about what you can or cannot do are the sum total of your past experiences. When you have an impossible attitude, your achievements will be at best limited, at worst zero. If you want to change the outcomes in your life, change impossible to Himpossible. A Himpossible attitude attracts people, while an impossible attitude repels. The former helps you to handle stress better. It is hard to beat a person who never gives up. There's only one person who sets the limit to your growth, and that person is you. For things to change, we must change. Even though not everything that is faced will change the way you want, yet nothing will change if you do not face it. Confront your fears, and you will conquer them. A Himpossible thinker never quits, and an impossible thinker never wins. When things go wrong, as they sometimes do, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but just don't quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us has sometimes learned, and many a fellow turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often the struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup, and he learned too late when the night came how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint in the clouds of doubt, and you never can tell how close you are. It might be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you are hardest hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. Failure holds valuable lessons if only we are willing to learn. We seldom realize that we are so close to achieving our goals. Remember, failure doesn't mean you are a failure. It does mean you haven't succeeded yet. Failure doesn't mean you have accomplished nothing. It does means you have learned something. Failure doesn't mean you should give up. It does mean you must try harder. Failure doesn't mean you'll never make it. It does mean it may take you longer. Failure doesn't mean God has abandoned you. It does mean God has a better idea for you.
The program is proudly presented by Global Reach Out. We welcome you to share our live enriching webcasts with family and friends through our website, global-reachout.org. Let's reach out to bless more lives together.